if you are new to the piano and you are self-taught, one of the things that is very challenging is the fact that you don't know what to study, you don't know where to take things from, you don't have a well-structured lesson that would guide you through your play. All right, so in this video we are going to take it from the very first thing, all right, you're supposed to know as a beginner, or we are going to start from the very beginner level possible. Okay, and so if you're new to the piano or you're new to the keyboard, this is your very first lesson, right? And I would actually promise that this is a well structured lesson and it is going to carry on in that manner. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right, so if you're new to the keyboard, I want you to think of the piano as a language. All right, think of it that way, where there are letters, okay, and you put those letters together to form words, and then you put those words together to form sentences. Okay, alright, so basically think of it as that way. Okay, so talk of letters, the piano or the keyboard is structured in a way such that it carries the first 7 letters of the alphabet. Okay, so that would be A to G. All right, so everything you see over here, all right, falls within A to G. Okay, so those are our letters. All right, and then from our letters you're going to move to words, and from the words you're going to move to forming sentences. All right, yeah, so it is as simple as that. Okay, your letters, which are the notes, these are all notes. All right, these are all notes. Okay, so we are going to join these notes, which are letters, to form words. Okay, so if I join this letter and this letter and this letter, I form a word. Okay, all right, so if I add this word to this word, I begin to form sentences. Alright, so it is as simple as that. Okay, so as I said earlier, it is structured between the letter A and the letter G. Alright, so I'm going to show you where your A is. Alright, you realize that the keyboard has a layout of black keys and white keys. Okay, so the white keys are all called natural keys. Alright, so if we want to find our A, the layout is in such a way that there are 2s, there are 3s, there are 2s, 3s. All right, it is in that order. Okay, so if you want to find where your A is, all you have to do is just locate where you would see a 3. All right, where there are 3 black notes. Okay, so to locate your A, you just have to find one of these 3s and count 1, 2, 3. Then you get your A. It is as simple as that. All right, locate your 3s and count A. All right, so we locate our 3, we count A, 1, 2, 3. We locate our 3, we count A, 1, 2, 3. So this is an A, this is an A, this is an A, this is an A, this is an A. All right, so once we get to G, it repeats itself. All right, so let's say I'm here. There's my A. We want to find my A. There's my A. All right. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. All right. So that is basically how it works. So you realize that once you end a cycle, a different cycle begins. All right. So there's my A, there's my B, there's my C, there's my D, E, F, G, A. So once you end over here, it begins again. B. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right. So basically, these are the letters we are going to put together to form words. Okay. So, what about the black keys? Okay, let's move to the black keys and also know what the black keys are. Okay, so with the black keys, they fall in between these letters. Okay, they fall in between these letters. All right, so let's use another scenario. All right, think of the white keys as maybe different set of people. Okay, so this is person 1 to person 7. All right, now this person can either go for it, or let's assume these people are falling down. Okay, so these people could either fall backwards or they could fall upwards. All right, so assuming person 1 is over here and wants to fall upwards. Okay, person 1 wants to move forward. Person 1 comes here. Okay, assuming person 1 is here, person 1 wants to move backwards. Person 1 comes here. All right, so basically that is the idea of how the white keys relate to the black keys. Okay, now if person 1 wants to fall upwards, or if person 1 wants to move forward, we call it a sharp. Okay, we call it a sharp. And I'm going to try and add the symbol in the description of this video. All right, and then if person 1 wants to move backwards, it is a flat. Okay, so throughout your journey in the piano, anytime you hear a sharp, knows that it is a person that has tried to move forward. And anytime you hear a flat, know that it is a person that has tried to move backwards. Okay, so those are the dynamics. So remember, we said if we wanted to find our A, we take the three black notes, and then we move 1, 2, 3, then we get our A. All right, so if A wants to move forward, it means A becomes a sharp. So this becomes our A sharp. All right, if A wants to move backwards, this becomes our A flat. All right, so basically that is how it works. This is B. If B wants to move backwards, this becomes our B flat. Unfortunately, there are some keys that cannot move forward. Okay, and those keys are the keys that or notes. Those notes are the notes that do not have any black notes in front of them. So a key like B can't move forward, so you can't have a B sharp. I mean, for beginners, you can't have a B sharp because there is no black key in front of B. So B only has a flat. Then you go to your C. All right, C can move forward. Okay, but C can't move backwards because there is no black key. All right, so you realize that in between B and C there is no black key. Okay, so basically that is how it works. And a key like E can't move forward as well, okay, because there is no black key in front of E. And a key like F can't move backwards because there is no black key behind it. All right, so basically this is what you get. Okay, so this becomes A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, back to your A sharp. All right, so this is when we are moving forward. Okay, now let's try moving backwards. So we are on our A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, and back to our A. So you realize that each of the notes could either fall up or fall back. All right, and it has its own name. Okay, however, I know you might be questioning, so if you're on, let's say, A, you realize that if A moves forward, it is called A sharp. If you're on B, if B moves backwards, it's called B flat. So you might be asking, what is the actual name? So this is where a word we often term as enharmonic equivalent. Okay, enharmonic equivalent. So it is basically a situation where one note has two names, two different names, but they are harmonically the same. So you realize that say A, when you go forward you get A sharp, but when you're on B and you come back you get a B flat. All right, so you realize that this particular note or this particular black key has two names. Okay, it has two names, so which is A sharp or B flat. Okay, and in music any of them that you use is correct. Okay, because they are harmonically equivalent. Okay, they have different names but they mean the same thing. All right, so if I'm over here, this is my F sharp, because F goes forward it becomes F sharp, but if J comes back it becomes J flat. So this key is either called an F sharp or a G flat. All right, so basically that is the layout of the piano. Okay, so I would recommend that these lessons would be solely practical, okay, for beginners. Okay, however, I have other videos. You can check the playlist and see my theory lessons where I take things I take things from the scratch. Okay, for theory, I take things from the scratch. All right, for beginners, okay, which is solely theory. All right, I try to explain the terms and how some concepts work and all that. So these ones are practicals, and I would recommend that you watch these practical videos and theory videos hand in hand. All right, so in our next lesson we've learned all these alphabets, okay, these letters. All right, so in our next lesson we are going to know how to group these letters into vowels and consonants. All right, I'm just using that, but then I mean, you get what I mean. We're going to learn how to group these letters, okay, so that we know how to form our words and start forming sentences. All right, so I'll see you in the next lesson.